Ilia Topuria's confidence has officially broken the sound barrier. The man is not just an undefeated two-division UFC champion, he's now making claims so bold they make the gods of the sport do a double take. He's looking back through time at the absolute apex of the biggest star MMA has ever known, and saying with zero doubt in his heart that he would win. And the debate is absolutely raging. Could today's Ilia Topuria beat a prime Conor McGregor? But what if I told you this isn't just about a champion's self-belief? What if this whole narrative, this challenge to a ghost from the past, isn't actually about Conor McGregor at all? What if it's a cold, calculated masterstroke designed to hijack the entire lightweight division? And what if the one man who bet his entire career on winning the McGregor lottery, Michael Chandler, is walking straight into a trap without a clue? This is the story of how one fighter's words are shaking up two divisions, and leaving one of the sport's most beloved warriors in danger of being left out in the cold for good. To really get what Ilia Topuria is doing, you have to understand the man. This is a fighter who, from his first step in the UFC, carried himself like a king waiting for his coronation. He literally speaks his destiny into existence, and then goes out and makes it happen with terrifying violence. With a perfect 17-0 record, Topuria isn't just winning, he's finishing fights with brutal efficiency. We all saw what he did to Alexander Volkanovski, the man who was the untouchable king of the featherweights for years. Topuria walked him down and knocked him out cold. Then, because that wasn't enough, he vacated that belt, moved up to the Shark Tank of the lightweight division, and knocked out Charles Oliveira to become a two-division champ. So when this man says he believes he'd beat Conor McGregor in his prime, it's not just trash talk. It's built on a foundation of supreme, almost unsettling self-belief forged in an undefeated career. Topuria's point is simple: the game has changed. While McGregor was a phenomenal striker, his weaknesses on the mat were always there. Topuria, a slick boxer with a nasty black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, believes he's the evolution of the sport. He even said that for McGregor to beat him, he'd have to die and be born again. That's not a call-out, it's a flat-out dismissal of a legend, a claim that this new era is just built differently. And by saying it, he forces the entire world to put his name right next to the biggest in the history of the sport. Alright, let's actually get into it. How would a fight between a prime, 2015-era Conor McGregor and the Ilia Topuria of today really go down? On paper, you've got two of the most devastating strikers we've seen in the lighter divisions. But how they do it is night and day. Prime McGregor was a ghost. He was a master of distance and timing. Fighting southpaw, his whole game was a setup for that cannon of a left hand. He'd use those long kicks to keep you guessing, to bait you into lunging forward, and the second you did, he'd meet you with a counter that could turn your lights out. That 13-second knockout of Jose Aldo, that wasn't a lucky punch. It was a career built on patience, precision, and power. McGregor's known weaknesses, of course, were his gas tank in deep waters and how he handled elite wrestlers. Ilia Topuria, though, is a pressure fighter. He is relentless. He marches forward behind a high guard, throwing crisp, powerful combinations, and he has knockout power in both hands. While Conor wanted to fight on the outside, Topuria wants to be in your face, breaking you down to find that kill shot. And here's the game changer. Behind all that boxing is an elite grappling game. Topuria isn't a striker who just learned to defend a takedown. He's a legit submission artist with 8 submission wins to his name. He can change levels and drag you into his world on the mat in a split second, the very threat that always gave Conor problems. The argument for McGregor is that his length and timing might have been able to pick Topuria apart on his way in. But the argument for Topuria is that his relentless pressure, his chin, and the constant, nagging threat of the takedown would just be too much for Conor to handle over 5 rounds. It's a killer clash of styles, and the fact that so many experts are leaning toward Topuria just proves his claim isn't as wild as it sounds. We're about to break down how all of this is spelling disaster for Michael Chandler. But first, if you're enjoying the analysis, do me a solid and hit that subscribe button. We go deep on the biggest stories in MMA every single week. Now, let me know in the comments. Who do you have in this one, Prime McGregor or Prime Topuria? Okay, let's pivot to the man who's slowly becoming the forgotten soldier in this war of words, Michael Chandler. For what feels like an eternity, Chandler put his entire career on hold for one fight. He coached the Ultimate Fighter against Conor McGregor, did all the press, and has been patiently waiting for that red panty night, the biggest check of his life. On paper, you get it. A McGregor fight is life-changing money. But here's the trap Chandler stumbled into. The fight world waits for no one. While Chandler was on the sidelines, Ilia Topuria was out there building a Hall of Fame resume. He became a champion by knocking out a pound-for-pound great, then vacated his belt and became a two-division champion by knocking out another legend. With every single interview, he's not just building his own brand. He's actively ripping the McGregor narrative away from Chandler. Just look at it from the UFC's point of view. On one side you have Michael Chandler, an absolute warrior, but a guy coming off a loss who's been inactive for years. That story feels like it's gone a bit stale. On the other side you have Ilia Topuria, an undefeated reigning champion, a knockout machine in his prime calling for a legacy superfight. Which one of those is more exciting? Which fight sells more pay-per-views right now? Topuria is creating a newer, better option. He's offering a champion versus icon spectacle, a story that's way more interesting than the contender who's been waiting his turn. Chandler's patience, which he probably saw as a virtue, has become his biggest weakness. He's betting on a promise from yesterday, while Topuria is creating leverage with action today. He's being completely outplayed in the court of public opinion, and it seems like he doesn't even see the chess pieces moving around him. And this is where you see the real genius behind Ilia Topuria's strategy. This call-out of a prime Conor McGregor is a masterclass in promotion and psychological warfare. First, it lifts his own name into a different stratosphere. He's not just another champion begging for a money fight. By calling out prime McGregor, he's injecting himself into a historical what-if. He's forcing everyone to compare his skills not to the Conor of today, but to the myth, the icon who took over the entire sport. This builds an aura around Topuria that goes way beyond the current rankings. He's framing himself as a potential all-time great. Second, and this is the kill shot, it's how he attacks his rivals without ever stepping into the cage. By making the McGregor story his own, he completely guts Michael Chandler's entire career plan. He's making the UFC and the fans ask, why should we see the Chandler fight when this much bigger, more relevant fight is right here? While Chandler has been waiting for his turn, Topuria has been rewriting the rules of the whole game. It's a calculated power play to jump the line and make himself the new sun that the lightweight division orbits around. Ilia Topuria's claim that he would steamroll a prime Conor McGregor is way more than just a fighter's confidence. It's a real technical debate that pits one of the sport's biggest legends against its most dangerous new champion. It's proof of how much the sport has evolved, and a testament to the terrifyingly well-rounded game that Topuria brings to the table. But more than that, it's a masterclass in career strategy. It's a narrative weapon that builds his own legacy while painting his rivals into a corner. Michael Chandler, a fantastic fighter who has given us some of the most thrilling moments in recent memory, made a huge gamble by waiting for Conor McGregor. He bet years of his prime on a fight that gets less likely by the day. And now, as Topuria expertly steals the show, it looks like Chandler is about to learn the UFC's hardest lesson. If you wait for your moment, you're just giving someone else the time to take it from you. So I'll leave you with this. Is Ilia Topuria's confidence his single greatest weapon? And is Michael Chandler making the biggest mistake of his career? Let me know what you think down below, and as always, thanks for watching.